All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Communication Masterclass for today. So let's just get right into it. So, what we're going to be going over today, there's a lot. This is for my people who have been here for a while. This is one of my favorite classes to do because I genuinely think communication is the number two, number three skill you need to learn to get better at the game of Rocket League. So, we're going to be talking today. First is why is communication important? The second thing we're going to go into is the types of communication. We have the do's and don'ts of communication. We have the levels to communication. And then finally, when we're talking about how we're calming, what we're going to be doing, what should you actually focus on? And then in the end, I added a little part of a pro communication video, and we're all going to watch and get into it. Let me make sure my webcam's actually going before I fully get into it. Sorry, guys. Okay. And let me know if you guys can see that. Oh, there we
Nice
go.
Streamlabs. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay. We're back. All right, let's get into it. First off, why is communication important? This goes for any game. So, Rocket League, Valorant, League of Legends, Overwatch, any team game, communication is important. It helps you give information to your teammates that they might not have. In any game where you're playing as a team, there's just too much information for you to know exactly what every single person on the field or the rift or the map is doing. You, as a team, when you give communications to your teammates, give them information that allows them to make a decision without having to expend the mental effort to like actually figure out what's going on. The gold standard for this, the reason I tell people to calm is because, as it says in the second bullet point here, it cuts out things like double commits. You will double commit less if you communicate with your team. It keeps you and your team on the same page with who's doing what. Uh, if you are on ball and you say what you're doing on ball, your teammates will know what's happening before the opponents do. It's that idea of when I'm communicating, I'm always trying to give my teammates more and more information on what's happening on the field. And then also, it increases pace of play by not requiring your teammates to observe as much. Keep going back to it. When you calm, your teammates are ahead of your opponents in terms of what's going on because they know what you're doing before you do it compared to your opponents who are just watching things unfold. And then finally, it creates more options for team passing plays. I'm talking about more positional calm when I say this, but when you talk about where you are in the field and you give your teammates updates on what's happening, it allows you to make passing plays, cut out double commits. It does a lot of things. But with this section, what I'm really trying to hammer home is the idea that communication is good because it's not going to help you win games. Well, it is going to help you win games, but you still need to be able to have mechanics and do all the other things to be good. Comms raise your ceiling and allow your teammates to know what you're doing so that not everyone is having to focus on everything. Everyone can focus on what they're doing. And when they get communication, they can learn about what other people are doing. And overall, it allows people to be on the same page and connect with each other. Okay, so we're going to go over the types of communication in the game. First off is quick chats. Yes, guys, even quick chats in Rocket League are good ways to communicate. Quick chats you can use with your D-pad on your controller. I'm sorry, but I do not know the KBM binds for quick chats. But
I think it's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
okay, it might 1, 2, 3, and 4 for KBM people. Quick chats most of the time are just used to be toxic. That's how people use quick chats. But there are team specific quick chats that allow you to convey information that is almost to the same level as voice chat. For example, there are comms that say need boost. Saying need boost while you're on the ball allows people to realize, hey, this person doesn't have any boost. Or if they say need boost off ball, they're like, oh, this person needs boost. I should go for this ball. All this is doing is allowing each person in a rank game where normally there's not a ton of communication to get out as much communication as possible. Again, comms, what they do is they get you and your team on the same page. So even if it's a quick shot saying, hey, I need boost, that's a lot better than your teammates not knowing. Next up is text chat. This is for long-term strategy. This I don't really like using text chat a ton, but it is an option. If you're noticing something happening, like someone's getting demoed a lot, or someone's picking up a ton of boost, or any of these different situations, you are able to say these things in text chat or in team chat that will convey information to people. Again, these quick chats and text chats are specifically for ranked. These are two of the sub options to the best option, which is voice chat. Voice chat is amazing. Rocket League has added voice chat into the game. I'm so old that it used to not have voice chat, but when the culture around voice chat's kind of changed, it's going to be hit or miss if voice chat is actually on for every one of your teammates in the lobby. But if you're communicating with your team, or maybe you have a professional team or a college team or a high school team that you play with that uses voice communications, do it. It is the best option because it allows you to real time communicate everything with your teammates. The reason voice chat is so good is because you can play and talk at the same time. With quick chats and with text chat, you have to use a part of your controller or your keyboard to convey information. When you are using voice chat, you are able to play and then talk at the same time. So it allows you real time to convey information to teammates. All right, any questions on this section? All right. Now let's go over the do's and don'ts of communication. So, 1, do speak clear and succinctly. Succinct means short. Most of your guys' comms should not last longer than 2 to 3 seconds. If you are saying more than 7 or 8 words, you made the wrong comm. When you keep elaborating on what's going on and you just keep talking about the same thing over and over again, it is cluttering the airways for other teammates to give you information that can be useful. Don't mumble or speak in full sentences. As I said, you want to speak clear. If you try mumbling a comm or you jump in the air and say for like 3 seconds, that's not going to convey any information to your teammates. You got to be really good about making sure you register what's happening. 1, you 2, give a clear and short comm about what's happening. And then 3, you allow your teammates to talk and continue this process as you get the cycle going down. Starting to communicate is really tough. A lot of people are just used to not talking and playing ranked. When you start voice chatting, it becomes a really tough struggle to break out of that cycle. So that's why I like to break it down. So remember, 1, you're going to register what's happening. 2, you are going to make a clear and short comm. And then 3, you're going to let your teammates continue with that and keep their comms, and you're going to listen to them. And it's going to become this cycle where you guys are all working together and able to do things. All right. Do speak positively, and don't heavy sigh or I thought you had that. Things that are very passive aggressive. Guys, playing a competitive game, things can get toxic and things can get negative. I understand. Trust me. We've all been there. No matter what game we've played, things have gotten toxic. It just happens. What you have to do when you are in communications with other people is rise above and give yourself the option to keep those airways clear and keep your communications positive. If your teammate misses the ball, it's going to be okay. You want to speak positively. We'll get into that in a little bit. But with this section, what I'm really trying to get at is if things get negative, you don't go low, you go high. So be positive. And if you are positive, other people will think of you as positive, and it will give you a nice, I don't want to say aura, but people that talk to you and people that know you, they will know you as the positive person. They will not know you as the toxic person. All right, next up, do give information to your teammates. Don't go off topic during game. I don't care what you ate for dinner when we're playing a Rocket League game. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. I want people talking all the time, but if they are not talking about what's happening in game, then there is less of an emphasis on wanting them to talk, because it's kind of the same thing as if you mumble or you speak for a long time. It clutters up the airways, and it makes it really, really tough for you to actually get information through if you have someone else talking about something that isn't important. For you guys, remember, you want to give information to your teammates, you want to make it clear, and you want to be positive about it. And then finally, this is honestly not the most important thing, but I really want you guys to take this as one of your takeaways by the end of this class. But do move past mistakes made by you or your teammates, and don't dwell on mistakes. Guys, Rocket League is such a short game, but you have so many opportunities to do different things. That's why Rocket League is so great. In 5 minutes, you touch the ball probably 15 or 20 times. So when you make a mistake, there will always be a next opportunity. You got to have that goldfish mindset where you are just letting things happen and pushing through. Don't dwell on your mistakes. If you dwell on your mistakes, you get that cycle going in your head, and things get more negative and more negative. Here at Fit Gamer and in the training grounds, we want to be positive about all of the things that we have going on in the game. So, does everyone understand the do's and the don'ts of communication? Cool. And take that as a yes. Okay. Here we have 4 different levels to communication. First off is the beginner level, and that is I'm hitting the ball. It is getting the point across, and it is not present tense, it is future tense, but they are conveying information. They are saying, I'm hitting the ball. That's information that teammates would like to know. Next up, we have the intermediate comm. I'm hitting the ball left. That is adding the communication of I'm hitting the ball, but I'm going to be hitting it to the left side of the field. Next up, advanced. I'm hitting left to you. They're adding a direction, and they're adding a comm to say, hey, this ball is coming to you. Be ready for it. And that helps the person who is waiting for this ball to come register what's going on in real time. And then finally, the pro comm, passing left low, go fast. That means that this person is passing to the left person. They are passing it low, not in the air. And he is asking the person to not wait on the pass, but get to it and hit it quickly. In 5 words, we have just conveyed 3 different types of information. That's why pro comms are pro comms. And that's why we're going to watch a little bit and see how they're able to comm during a high pressure situation. So let's get into it. How to help with your guys' comms. We're going to go from bronze to SSL or pro level. When you first start playing the game, you want to focus on the rotations. And when we focus on rotations with our comms, we're really just being basic about who's going for the ball and who isn't. That's just a great way to clear things up. You don't want to make things too much, and you don't want to overload people with information, especially in those lower ranks. You just want to say, hey, I'm going to go for this ball, you wait, or things along those lines where you're able to space people out and space the rotations out. Next, talk through what you are doing. It is a good practice to talk about what you're doing, especially at the early stages of the game. If you guys would like, and I really love this activity, pretend like you were streaming or recording a playthrough video, or just actually stream or actually record your gameplay. You would be surprised how beneficial it is for you to narrate your own gameplay because it gets the practice in your head of I'm going to talk while I'm playing and not just sit there and think really hard about what's happening but not talk. If recording your own gameplay and uploading it to YouTube is a way for you to talk while you're playing the game, maybe you just do this by yourself in solo queue. It gives you that practice of talking about what you're doing and then having it show up in practice when you're playing with a team. It's a really great way to be able to do that. So let's keep it going. Next up, intermediate comps. This is from the level of about plat to champ. We have moved on from just rotations. Now we're going to be talking about where the ball will be going. Once we get to the plat, once we get to the diamond level, we kind of want to be figuring out where the ball's going to go, where we're going to pass it. Things that are a little bit higher level, but again, we want to keep it pretty simple. All we're trying to do is if you have a free touch, call out where you're going to hit the ball. I know sometimes the ball's not always going to go where you hit it or where you want to hit it, but with these comms, just give a direction like, hey, I'm going to hit the ball left. What that's going to do is you are going to notice that you're saying something, so you're forcing yourself to do the thing that you said. So instead of having a thought process where you're like, oh God, what am I going to do? If you say you're hitting the ball left, you're hitting the ball left because it wouldn't make sense to say something and then do something else. It'll do that, and then your teammates will also know what's happening. So it kind of clears up that thought process along with telling people where things are going. All right. Now we also want to start thinking about that next step. Start trying to call it what you're going to do next. Instead of just saying, I'm hitting the ball, we want to start thinking more future tense. The example that I put here is I'll cover their hit. What that means is you're going to be there for the touch that they make. So you're calling out in the future, hey guys, I will be there. When you start talking in this future tense, it clears up your thought process and it keeps your teammates on the same page. As we talked about earlier, comms are a great way for you to tell your teammates what you're going to do. And then also, you can start guiding your teammates with your comms, asking them to do things that'll help you out. If you're not able to get this ball, say, hey, I can't get this ball. Don't just stay silent and whiff a ball accidentally. If you can't cover the ball, you can't cover the ball. That's how it's going to go. So you want to be good about guiding your teammates and asking them to do things. However, very important, don't be too demanding. It can come off as toxic. Don't yell at your teammates to do things. Don't do that. But if you need something to be done, then if you ask politely, you'll be able to have things happen and you'll be able to get your teammates up to speed. For example, hey, go mid for this pass, ? That might be a good way to get your teammate to the middle of the field and give them a passing option and maybe a goal out of it. Okay, now let's talk about advanced comms. When you get to the point where you're making multiple touches on the ball, call out how many you are making. For example, if you're going for a double tap, say 2. If you were hitting the ball once, say 1. That should be like a bare minimum thing of what you're doing with your comms. Next, help your teammates with observations that they can make. If your teammate is trying to control and someone is challenging that they can't see, say something. If the ball's coming off the back wall, make sure that you're calling out if someone's on or not so that they know they have time. When we're at these higher levels, we want to be helping our teammates out with information that they might not have. Another example, if they are going in the air and someone jumps in the air, you want to be really good about saying, hey, he's up or no one's up and letting your teammate know that he has time. It's all about giving your teammates information that they might not have. All right, and then finally, to help team coherency, if you are making a play on the ball, make sure you say what you're trying to do in advance. This is pretty simple, but people have a really tough time doing it. If you're going for a flip reset, say so. If you're challenging the ball to keep it in the air, say so. If you're trying to hit the back wall of the other team, say so. Every time you do something, say it. It will help you in the long run if you talk about what you're doing, because in a team situation, the people that play better are the people that calm better. Okay, any questions? All right, let's keep it going. So, we're going to do a few exercises and then we're going to watch the video on the pros. So, in this situation, we have the person in the midfield, as you can see with my cursor, and he is trying to pass the ball to the person on the left. Anyone here, what communication would you make to this person on the left if you were the person in the midfield in this situation? Anyone can call out if they want. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, what's up?
Would you tell the goalie to back you up, but then the person on the very left-hand side of the screen to cover goalie, just in case it's a failed touch?
I'm saying if you're trying to pass it to the left, what you would want to say to the person.
Oh, if you're
passing.
passing it,
Yeah.
then say I'm passing left.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Clear and concise. I'm passing left. Awesome. Okay. Next situation. You are the person with the arrow coming from, and you are trying to challenge the ball because you are closer to it. What are you saying to your teammates so that they know not to go for the ball? And again, anyone can call this out.
I'm challenging, stay off.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm challenging, stay off. I'm going. Anything where you're conveying the information of, hey, don't go for this ball, I'm going. Comms, especially with double commits, are a big thing. You want to be really good about making sure that you prevent as many double commits as possible. Okay. Finally, this is a little bit of a different one, but you are this person rotating back as third. You have already touched the ball and you are rotating back. What communication would you make if you are making this rotation?
Would you say like I'm heading back or something like that?
Yeah, I'm heading back or I'm rotating back. The way I would say it is I'm rotating third, just so people know that you're going to be back in the rotation. But yeah, it's a really good way to say it. Okay, and then finally, you are the person that I have circled in net. You see this person in orange trying to challenge the person on ball in blue. What communication would you make if you were the person in net seeing your teammate get challenged here? This one's a little tougher, so I'll say it here. You just want to say he's on. You're just trying to convey information at this point. And so what we want to do is make sure that if our teammate has the ball and isn't 100% sure if someone's on or not, you want to always be conveying information to them that they're not able to see because they have the ball. Okay? So, finally, before we head out, we're going to watch a little bit of pro communications. And I just want you guys to listen to what they are saying. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can hear what's happening on ball. But this is a video from, this is probably two years ago, 1 year ago. But these are comms from Space Station. They're very good because they are a team that always conveyed a lot of really good information to each other. And so I really like this video because it shows people how even in tense situations, pros are able to calm. So we're going to listen to these last minute and a half to 2 minutes of this video. And I just want you guys to take away an idea of what pro comms sound like. So let's get into it.
Oh, they're Akko.
Putting a high, low boost. He's gonna have, let him boom.
Just lock him in. You.
I got.
Wait behind.
You
Right
yours?
over. I got it. Under. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
over.
full, I'm full.
That's fine. Let's get back. That's not a challenge.
15.
Nice, go
I'm
back.
zero. I'm zero. He's up. Still
15,
zero.
you?
Again.
I got
me?
it.
He's on.
Yes.
I'm zero. Gotta wait you.
Come backwards.
He's
I'm
up.
getting bumped.
I got.
Touching.
You.
I got it.
Awkward.
Or zero. You.
I
I'm
can't.
up. I need help though, I need help. No more, no more.
Oh,
I
back
cannot.
one.
I'm zero. You.
I got one.
Nice, good job.
Get the corner if you can.
Yeah,
Just
you.
I
calm
got
down,
first.
calm
Oh, nice,
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
I'm
Calm down. Calm down.
50. I got more, I got more.
I'm grabbing
Okay.
pads. Dan, you're
Okay.
last.
You, to
I
me,
got-
boom up.
That's it, yeah.
Give
us, give us.
Open. We got it.
Hop high.
Good
He's
try.
gonna have.
Can't.
Gotta play defense.
Got it
Nice.
again.
Nice. I'm in our half.
Hang
Go
on.
third.
Yeah, I got it.
Sam.
50.
One more.
You got it. Ace forcing.
You, Dan.
I got-
Bumped them. And I bumped one. Behind left. Here.
I got. I'm gonna
Wait,
catch.
left.
I'm gonna
Okay,
catch
catch,
no
catch.
boost.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
I'll
it.
just go mid. I'll just go mid if you need.
Good job.
Nice,
You,
I got it.
beat him fast.
Trying to beat him. He's up.
You,
Karen,
Dan?
beat
Nice,
him.
I'll go. Yeah,
Beat him.
waiting, waiting.
You got, you got, you got.
Yeah.
I wait.
Wait, beat him.
I can't up.
So, as you can see, very tense moment. That was a game 7 of a series. But listen to how clear and coherent their comms are. They're talking about boost. They're talking about space. They're trying to guide each other. This is the highest level of the game, and they are really good about conveying information. So I hope you guys got a few things you could listen to with that you'll use in your own comms.
To get excited.
So with that, we are at the end of the class. Before we head out, any questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. I'll catch y'all later.